Ani Bojo, Shikoli, Sego, Tibrata Ndinshnikas, Quebec Ndunjaba, Enterprise Inda, and Loving Spoonful Indanoki. Welcome to Cooking Behind the Scenes with Kingston's Indigenous Language Nest in partnership with Loving Spoonful and the Indigenous Diabetes Health Circle. So today we're working with Dodo Jabo Gibik, which is dandelion, and I just love dandelion. And this is store-bought dandelion, so it's roughly one bunch, and I got it on sale today because it often goes on sale. I harvest it early spring and late fall, with including the roots. So I let dandelion grow in my yard and in my gardens, and then I harvest it, and I actually even plant some dandelion. So late spring, early fall, I like to cook this including the root, and I have a separate recipe for that. So today we're making a simple stir fry. So the first thing we're going to do is slice a cooking onion and soften it in some sunflower oil, and we're using sunflower oil because it's more traditional. And then once this gets started, we're going to slice some red pepper and add that, soften it up a little bit, and then we're going to chop these Dodo Jabo Gibik and add them to wilt. That's it. Very simple, straightforward, and so delicious. I just love it. And actually it's going to be in our potato and wild forest mushroom hash for tomorrow's outing, shelter among our tree relatives. So we're going to be having that and a bunch of other stuff. But anyways, let's get to it. So I've washed everything and I left this peeled so I could show you how I do it. There are many, many ways to do everything in the kitchen, and I just go with what has worked for me over the years. So in this case, we're just going to cut it in half so that we can peel it. And then we're going to be slicing it lengthwise. So I need to get rid of this little part here, the root, because the root will hold the strips. So we're cutting from top to bottom and removing this root so that we'll have different strips. So I just cut a little V here to get the root out. And then slice it lengthwise, and I don't want to forget the root here. Alright, so now we're going to just loosen up these little individual pieces of onion. We're going to put a little bit, about a tablespoon to 2 tablespoons of oil in our pan. So oil's going to add flavor and moisture, but we don't want to overdo it. I have a tendency to want to overdo it because I like the extra flavor. We're not going to overdo it today. All right, so we've got our onions in here, and I'm just going to add a tiny bit of salt and a tiny bit of pepper. You could use, instead of pepper, you could use sumac, which has a lemony flavor, and we can get that out in the wild here quite easily. So to cut a red pepper, there are again many ways to cut a red pepper, but this is one way that I like to do that's really fast and zero waste. Go in and cut all the way around the core. What I'm going to do is position my pepper here, and now I've got a flat surface to lie it on, sort of, and cut there. Then I'm going to cut the bottom, the top off. I pull out the core, the stem. Many times people throw this along into the garbage, so no need to waste it. We want to take complete advantage of it. And now we're just going to give this a quick little stir. If you like a little color on your onions, go for it. If not, you could simply sweat it. And now we're going to cut thin strips lengthwise. Now, if you see me cutting this quickly, it's just because I've done this for many, many, many years, 8 to 10 or 12 hours a day. So practice, makes us comfortable with this. So don't worry if at home it takes you a little longer than it does me. And I always enjoy cooking with friends because then it makes it, a community, family affair or a way to connect with friends. All right, so now these lovely dodo jabot yijik. So these ones are already cut. So you can see that I've already cut the bottom. When they were dry, before I washed them, I went through them to pick out, the reason I got them on sale was because they were not looking so pretty on the shelf, but look at how much of it is really nice. I don't worry if there's a little bit of red here. I think that's pretty natural for dandelion, and there's some pale ones. So then before I put them in water, I find it way easier to clean them and sort them. And now you can see that I have a bunch of curlicues here. I'm just going to take a smaller bunch. And we want to cut sections about that big. If I was to use the root, then I would be cooking the root first on low heat and letting it cook for a long time until it gets really golden brown. Because, the root has a bitter flavor, which is really, it's really a large part of where the medicine is in the dandelion. And sometimes the bitterness can be a little on the intense and unpalatable side. So by slowly cooking it and getting it to caramelize or brown, then you sweeten the flavor of the root a tiny bit and the bitterness is more balanced. Then I would add my onions and peppers and garlic if I choose, and finally the greens, just to wilt. So it's basically the same procedure. You get the nourishment, the great medicine from the greens and the roots. In this case, because all the dandelion in my garden is gone for this year, I bought this at the grocery store. Okay, so now all of our dandelion is cut. This is fairly thin. You could cut it thicker if you like. It just depends on your preference. So this, you could use this as a side dish, as your vegetable side dish for the evening. You could mix it into eggs. You could, if you like pasta or rice, you could mix it into rice. I'm going to show you our potato hash for tomorrow that has a whole bunch of interesting ingredients in it, including some wilted dandelion. So basically what we're looking here is to get a vibrant green color. And we can see some of them here are starting to go really vibrant green. You don't want to take it too far along because it's going to lose its nutrients if we cook it too long. And if we burn it or brown it, then it's not going to be as tasty. And what we're really looking for is not only the nutritional enjoyment and benefits, but we're also looking for the pure enjoyment of our food. So, and you could eat this hot, or you could eat it at room temperature, or even cold. But ideally, I think it would be either hot or room temperature. If you have some nuts, you could top it with some chopped toasted nuts or pumpkin seed, whatever you have. So here we've got our vibrant green color. And I'm just going to put it in a serving platter here. Okay, welcome back everybody. So in this case, we've added our dandelion to our potato, wild forest mushroom, wild rice, manu men, sweet peppers, onions, and let's see, I said potatoes, and the dandelion, the dodo jabot gijik. And so tomorrow, this will be served in a biodegradable takeout container. So you'll have your salad with the all those beautiful ingredients in there, and some beautiful venison salami. And there you go. So that's our lunch for tomorrow. So I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Bamapi.